This is why home feels tense after work. And before you jump to the conclusion that it's because your wife's angry or the kids are racing around just being chaotic, it's not always because of that. And I want to give you, over the next 10 minutes, a little bit of a map on how you can make sure that every time you roll home, home feels like the place you really want to be. And more importantly, it's a place where you actually are. We think about it like this. Many of us blokes, we go home from work, we walk in the door and our physical body's there. We're rolling in, our parents, our wife sees us, our kids see us, but mentally, we're thinking about the invoices that need to be sent out, the work that needs to be done tomorrow, the conflict that was happening during the day, the subbies that didn't show up. And our wife can pick up on that, right? They know that we're distracted. They know that we're not being present. And quite often they would much rather just have us not there, getting in the way, than being there. And so how do we change that, right? How do we go through a point where we're able to deal with all the things that we deal with at work, because that's not going anywhere. All of the dramas and challenges that we have, they're going to keep happening. But how do we get ourselves to a point where when we walk through the door, we're switched on, we're there, and our wife and our kids know that. Our wife knows we're not distracted. She knows we're here to help. Our kids get so excited because they're like, Daddy's home. And you're able to be there in that moment, not thinking about the invoices. If you're tuning into this YouTube for the first time, you're probably thinking, well, this guy wears the same thing, because this is literally what I was wearing in my last video, and I just realized this. Now, look, let's just call it, I have a uniform. Even though I don't, I'm just wearing the same bloody shirt, but I have the uniform. But in this video, and what I focus on is I focus on helping trade business owners who are earning anywhere between $500,000 to $2 million, be able to get their life that their business was supposed to create. Because when we're dealing with the pressures of business, and I know this far too well, it can consume us and it can actually cost us all the things and the reasons why we were doing it. So I want to make sure that I give you a quick map and framework that you can use today that is going to allow you to walk through the door after a hectic day, and your wife knows you're there, your kids know you're there, and mentally you know you're there as well. You're not off thinking about other challenges. So what happens? The key for all of us is understanding that there's a transition period, right? When we leave work, we have this time in the ute where we're cruising, we might be listening to a podcast, we might be on the phone, or we might just have absolute silence. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've done the absolute silence just to calm my mind. But then we pull up in the driveway. And many of us then just go straight inside without washing the day off. You wouldn't just, let's think about this. You're doing a handover for a house and you've been in another job site, you're a bit dusty, you're a bit dirty. You don't just walk into the handover without cleaning yourself off first, because you don't want to put crap around someone's new house. The same goes for when you're walking into your own house, and whether it's dust or it's just mental crap, we want to clean that off. And so that transition period becomes very important. And it's something I like to call the drive-away reset. And I'm building a tool out now, and I'll do another video, I'm sure, at some point on this, because it's such a common challenge for most of us blokes. But the driveway reset is essentially, you want to give yourself 2 minutes in the driveway to go through a little process that's going to change your state. And what I mean by state is like change your mood so that when you walk through the door, you're present, as opposed to walking through the door and thinking about all the other things that aren't your family. Because they know. Just like you know, they know as well. And every time we're in front of someone, we're telling them or showing them what we believe is important. And if you're hanging around your kids, if you're with your wife and you're laying in bed at night, and instead of engaging and having a conversation, you're thinking about what are the tough conversations I have to have tomorrow. This person has an outstanding bill. She knows that, and she knows you're not there. And what do you think that will do to your marriage? Is it going to make it stronger? Or is it going to put a wedge between it and make you guys grow apart? I think it's going to be the latter. The same with the kids. They know, like if you're sitting there on your phone, they wanted to kick the footy. Like my young kid, he's 4 months, so there's no kicking of the footy, but I am very adamant that I'm not on my phone when I'm walking him in the park and I'm pulling his, what do you call it on the pram, the hood of the pram so he can see the trees, and he just lights up. And I do notice myself from time to time, I'm on my phone and he sees that. And what do you think I'm telling him? I'm telling him, dude, you're not as important as this text message. And I don't want him to think that, because I know that will influence the relationship that we have in the future. So we need to be mindful of how we're showing up in the house. So Think about it like this, and the driveway reset goes something like this. You're just gonna sit in your ute, right? Turn it off, sit in there for 2 minutes max, right? You're gonna do 3 slow breaths. Sorry, I got a truck going past, makes me wanna breathe. So 3 slow breaths. You can just breathe in through the nose as long as you can. Don't worry about timing stuff, just, and then out through the mouth. And then in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the third one, in through the nose, out through the mouth. That's all we're gonna do. Look, that took us what? Depending on how fit you are and how good your breathing is, it might take you 20 seconds max. That's point 2. But step 3, we wanna run through some questions. And I'm gonna have a checklist for this that you can use these questions as a prompt in the beginning, but eventually you should start to remember them if you do it regularly. The first one is gonna be, what do I need to leave behind at work? And this is another step that we have in my coaching program where we help you work out what the shutdown process is at work so that you can shut down and leave things there so that when you're going home, you already know you've done that. What do I need to leave at work? It could be, hey, I need to leave at work the conflict that I had today or the tough conversation I had with a subby today who didn't show up, and now it's put my whole job flow behind. I need to make sure that I leave that at home because that's not my kid's problem. That's not my wife's problem. They don't care. They care about me, but they don't care about the problems that I'm bringing into the home. So that might be the thing that I need to leave at home. And then we can go through a process on how we leave that at home. And we do that more in the shutdown process rather than this. The second question you want to ask yourself is, who am I walking into? We want to prime ourselves to remind yourself what you've got at home. For me, I walk in the door to my beautiful wife, and we've been married for nearly 5 years. We've been together for over 12, right? And I know she's probably had a wild day looking after the young fella and also working. So I want to make sure that I remind myself that I'm walking into someone who's sacrificed so much and is looking after our kid while I'm out working, and she's also carrying her own career. That's incredible. The second is my young son, Freddie. He's 4 months old. He's the best little dude on the planet. And I know he's so pumped to see me. So I want to remind myself, even just talking about that now, I'm getting pumped and I feel good, right? It starts changing me from work mode, like all the shit that's going on there, to these are the people I'm about to go see. I'm so excited for that. And the third question we want to ask ourselves is, what version of me, do they deserve? For me, I want them to be the fun, playful, caring one, the one who knows I'm there and they're the only thing on my mind. And so when I think about that, I start going, well, how do I want to walk through the door? I want to walk through with a big smile on my face. I want to bring some energy. I want to run straight to my wife, give her a kiss on the cheek and thank her for looking after Freddie for the day. I then want to go over to Freddie and she'll be like, what's up, little man? And spend some time with him and see if my wife needs a quick breather. She might need a bit of downtime as well because she hasn't had that opportunity for the day. So they're the 3 questions, because a third step on this, which is a separate video, is the first 15. Right? The first 15 is that first 15 minutes really sets the tone for how the afternoon's going to go. And if you want to have an afternoon where your family is so grateful you're home, they know that you're there for them, and the energy is great and you're just going to have a good time, you really need to maximize that first 15 minutes. I will do another video on that very soon. I've got so much more content coming out for you guys that it's going to give you a map. I don't want to tell you how necessarily you should do things. I'll share stories of clients and what's working for them, but also what's working for me on this framework. But I want to give you the flexibility. But with this framework, this map essentially, it's going to help you go from the guy who's built the incredible business, you have the money, but it's cost you the life that you thought it would build. It would create for you, right? Where you have a great family, we have adventures, we have good health, and we want to get you back into that because you don't need to sacrifice your business. I'm not telling you that you need to do that. We want you to have that while having all the things that you know it can create for yourself. So if you're enjoying this and if you want to follow more, make sure you just hit subscribe. I've got nothing to sell you at the moment. I just want to give you tools and information. Eventually, I'm going to start putting worksheets that you can just take for free and you can start implementing this for yourself.